Hello, everyone. Welcome to GRC Summit 2020. I'm Rahul Maheshwari. I'm the VP of Global Services for Europe. Today's topic we will be discussing will be benefits of integrated GRC in a crisis. And I have the pleasure of introducing Ken Simons, transformation consultant at M&G. Ken Simons is a transformation consultant at M&G. He is currently program director of the GRC program at M&G. Prior to this role, Ken had the operations and technology and transformation leadership roles at organizations including JP Morgan Chase, UBS, and Barclays. The roles have covering various areas of financial services, including legal and compliance, fund management, exchange traded derivatives, middle office operations, and data management. Ken has a bachelor's degree of engineering from the Oxford Brookes University and a master's in software engineering from Birmingham University. Welcome up, Ken.
Oh, thanks, Rahul. Thanks for the introduction.
Hi. Today we will be having a conversation using M&G as an example to talk about how a GRC program, integrated GRC program, can be structured, what elements exist, like change management, and how different executives and the first line of management is involved in the program. So, Ken, I was hoping to get to talk to you at M&G approach of integrated GRC. How do you see integrated GRC at M&G?
Yeah, so I suppose, at M&G, we've used it as a way to harmonise our processes and data, particularly so that we can, I suppose, fully understand and just demonstrate the disciplines that we're applying to, mitigating risk, adherence to policy, and then adherence to regulation. So we're trying to bring it all together, I suppose, in a all singing, all dancing solution.
Okay. No, it's great. And I have been personally involved with M&G over the last 12 months, and we saw how the integrated GRC evolved starting from policy management and how you have gone through the journey of integrated GRC. Ken, you had a number of different GRC technology internally within M&G. How did M&G embark on this journey to replace them and implemented a integrated approach for the GRC?
Yeah, so I suppose it's worth just spending a little bit of time just giving the history of M&G. So M&G was created out of Pru UK towards the last year as the merger and then demerger of M&G Investments and Pru UK. So essentially what we've been doing is so each of the different individual companies had their legacy way of doing things from a risk and compliance perspective. And also each one of the different companies had their own suite of systems carrying out the that were required. So for us, it wasn't a technology problem, but it was a problem that we could use technology to help us solve. So, the key things that we wanted to get out of this was to harmonise and simplify the various practices, the different companies together in some unified and one simplified framework. So we use, MetricStream as the vehicle to do that. So in our perspective, we had, the M&G way of doing things and the Pru UK way of doing things, but we use MetricStream as our third way, and we use that to unify and unite the various factions and individuals within the company, just to bring everybody together around a common way of doing things.
Okay, thanks, Ken. And right now, Ken, as you know, we are in the midst of this corona crisis. How do you see that this integrated GRC program can help the organization like M&G, who have implemented this multiple solutions across the board?
Yeah, so at the moment, we're still continuing to roll the product out. So we're still in delivery at the moment. However, around notifiable events, for example, we're starting to see fully consolidated reporting. And I suppose one of the key things for us is that, that the organisation has fully bought into what we're doing. So our plans remain unchanged, despite the fact that people are working from home, they're working remotely. I suppose the momentum and the focus that we have as a programme is still continuing. So I think it's going to take us a year or two to get to a situation where I suppose the platform and the data is fully mature enough for the company to start planning its resilience activities going forward. But that sort of light is what we're working to at the moment, and the impetus is still behind us to continue to do that.
Okay. And Ken, I know that you have been involved from day one as a program director or on the GRC. And how has been your learning during the whole process and the change management? How did you go about the whole change management within M&G during this process?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we came into this, we recognised that this wasn't a technology problem that we were solving. So so the people in the process were key parts of what we were going to have to work through and deal with. So we put a good hefty budget in there specifically for change management, and we hired a change manager as well specifically to help us go along on that journey. I think one of the key things that we learned as part of the process was ensuring that once we deliver the program, we want to make people empowered and knowledgeable on the platform and the system as it changes and evolves. So we purchased a technology adoption tool. So we purchased a product called Adopt from a company called AppLearn, which we're rolling out. So again, as people go into the system, there's a wealth of information and knowledge and training material that they can get readily displayed to them in the context of what they're actually doing. So we're trying to bring risk and compliance to the man in the business. I was going to say the man on the street. We're all at home at the moment, but just to make it as accessible and easy to use and easy to follow as possible, basically.
As our listeners are hearing all this, that you have implemented multiple solutions, what are the different things they can consider when they are embarking on this journey? Because you have gone through from policy management to multiple solution rollout over a period of almost 12 months. So how do you see that? What are the things they should consider while rolling out? Few things if you can highlight
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, so I mean, some of the key things that I would take away, or one of the things that we've been very flexible in our governance. So when we first started the program, a lot of what we were doing was looking at the organisational structure, somewhat inward facing from a legal risk and compliance perspective. As we matured the program, we changed the governance and we involved people from the first line. So we had each of the COOs from each of the business areas as part of our governance groups, our steering committee, moving forward. We used MetricStream to demonstrate the art of the possible. I think I mentioned this previously. So that the first line guys were quite complimentary that they were involved early on and they weren't done to. One of the key things that we wanted to do as part of delivering this program was ensure that we did make their responsibilities accessible and easy as possible to do. So by engaging them early on, they saw the product in its rawest form. We had discussions with the first line and the second line around things that we could change. One of our key mantras has always been, take it as much out of the box as possible. So we changed very, 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 very little. And, with rationalising with people the benefits of doing that, but also negotiating with people on changing their processes to fit the system rather than changing the system to fit the processes, it helps a lot of people come on a consistent journey. So, so from where we are now, we initially we bought the 6 risk and compliance modules. I mean, they're all live in the production environment. We're rolling them out. We continue to roll them out. We're still continuing to embed and to refine them. Towards the end of last year, we bought a couple of the IT modules. Again, they're in production at the moment and they're starting to be rolled out. So I think, one of the key things for us was making sure that, everybody in the company. So we spent a lot of time with members of the executive committee and then also a lot of time with people on the ground, getting them to understand that, one of the key benefits of buying a technology product is you use it as a product. If you go out and you buy a car, you drive the car that you bought. There is an element of customization you might get in the showroom, but you don't start reinventing the wheel. You don't start, tinkering around with the various, components. So we've kept true to that mantra, and I think that's helped us because it's helped unify, the various groups around something that they can focus on working together on to make successful. I think one of the other key things that we've also done, supplementary to this, is establishing a communication and a training program as well. So again, the technology has been the catalyst for us to do this. So the change managers worked with, some of the subject matter experts in risk and compliance, and we're pulling together a training program that will be launching towards the back end of the year that will be, computer-based training plus then specific training to help people in specific roles that they might have. And we'll continue to refine that training, as time progresses. But it will be available to people in the context of using MetricStream delivered to them via Adopt.
No, that's great, and yeah, that answers the questions. And Ken, I have to compliment that you said keeping it mostly out of the box, because it's easy to change the technology rather than changing the processes. And I have to compliment that M&G was able to keep most of the solutions in out of the box, keeping it true to product, so that you can adapt to the solutions, the best practices which are already built in the solutions. And second thing is important is about the change management, that the training, the constant training, and how we should be leveraging different tools so that they have contextual training, and the first line of defense can be onboarded on that. Another related questions on that, you talked about involvement of executives and the first line of defense. How much involvement was there, and what kind of benefits do you see already, or how do you see as a roadmap on that?
Yeah, so I mean, we were having quarterly meetings with members of the XCOM when we initially started, and in the middle stages of the program, just to talk them through what we were doing, the general philosophy behind it, but also just give them an opportunity to give feedback on their experiences around risk and control. And I think it was quite a therapeutic experience for both parties, basically. We also spent some time with the chair of the audit committee as well. So, we used this group of senior people to understand what we were trying to do, to buy into it, because, not everybody's always going to be happy by what we do, because we want people to compromise, and we want people to come together and change what they do. So, we highlighted that there would be some bumps on the road, but they've all been hugely supportive. And we also spent quite a lot of time with various key individuals in the risk and control community in each of the different business areas, but also the risk and control community in the second line as well, because we had to unify each one of those groups into, for want of a better term, a coherent mass, so that we, everybody was, singing the same mantra. So I think, they've all got their various benefits out of it. If you go to the investment room and the operations area, they'll speak very, complimentary about the benefits that we'll get from an SMCR perspective. The financial services industry is looking at resilience. So, as we start to build out the platform, that will become a key area of benefit that we'll be able to build on top of as well. And, we're working with yourselves on that resilience area also at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. And Ken, thanks for sharing your experience. And I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind, I can ask. And I think you might have heard this question multiple times. What are some of the risks you took with the rapid rollout of multiple solutions? How did these risks materialize, or what are the lessons learned when you roll out multiple solutions like these?
Yeah, and we may have been quite fortunate because of the nature of what we were doing, because essentially we were building a company. One of the key things that we've had to do actually as a program is stand our ground. And, to the discussions that we've had with the executive committee, they've bought very strongly into what we're doing. However, that strength of feeling doesn't always percolate down. So, so we've got a feel, I suppose it's somewhat evangelical, for want of a better term, that we're trying to do the right thing. And sometimes, we'll go out to business areas and we'll hold our ground because they're not ready, or they don't want to participate in what we're doing. And then we'll go and we'll work with other business areas that are more constructive and are ready to engage. And gradually, I suppose the tide turns, or they become curious, and they then start to engage a lot more constructively. It's quite a curious experience for us, because there's an element of frustration that you get as a program that we can't make as much rapid progress as we would like. But what we have had to learn is that we need to be sensitive to the people. It's a successful business. What we are trying to do is in the best interest of everybody concerned. But we've also got to allow people to acclimatise and accustom become accustomed to what we're trying to do, because a lot of what we are trying to do is very different to the way that they've worked historically, and gradually everybody's come round basically. So the guy that I work with, who comes from risk and compliance, Simon, I think we we often act as a double act, and I feel we've built up a wealth of respect and regard within the company. And I think one of the key things I should draw out in the interaction that we had with MetricStream was we wanted some predictability, basically, for us to establish the credibility that we've established within the company. Is I had to have some predictability, and I know at the beginning we had some difficult discussions around getting the quality and the management right, but we got all that sorted out. We got all that sorted out in quite short order, and that level of I suppose credibility, due to the quality and the predictability of our deliveries, has helped us shape what we've done now, basically. So I think that's a key thing that I just want to draw out. I don't know if I've answered your question fully.
Yeah. No, absolutely, you answered, and I think it is important. We have gone through that journey, and most of the time, it is how you roll out these solutions that's critical. What we have seen at MNG is that we discuss about these solutions together, so we can have a single library approach. We can look at the integrated GRC view, but how you roll out a staggered way, so that you are not just making users bombarding with number of things and just slowly adopting to the solutions. So it has worked very well, and I hope it will continue as you roll out more applications and more solutions. I know some of them have almost there. Sure. So I know that as you roll out more solutions, you can take a staggered approach. That's all from my side, Ken, and I think it has been a privilege to be part of this journey along with you and team over the last 12 months. And it has been very interesting journey that where we started from policy management, and then we have moved into different solution areas, 6, as you said, and going through the whole ITGRC as you're rolling out. So it has been very interesting journey, and thanks for your insights on this integrated GRC. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.